The idea here is to change the system and to tear it down. And that is really at the core of identity politics and critical race theory and all the other philosophies and disciplines. One of the reasons why it succeeds is that it hijacks one of our best impulses as humans, and that is the impulse to be compassionate, to side with the people who need our help.
There used to be the idea of a melting pot in America. Does that still exist, or is that idea still worth having?
The melting pot is one of the first ideas that is targeted in this new dispensation of identity politics, and for a reason, because the melting pot is about joining the system and improving the system and accessing the system. And the people who have this in mind do not want to improve the system. They want to change the American system, starting with capitalism. These are very Marxist ideas. Critical theory on which all of this is based is a neo-Marxist school. I am an immigrant. I was born in Cuba, left at the age of 12. My family went to Europe. Then we came here to New York in the early 70s. I believe in America. I believe in the American system. I think this is a fantastic country, not just because of the opportunity it gave my family to escape the harsh realities of communism and socialism, but also because it has produced a level of liberty and prosperity unheard of in the history of mankind. These ideas did not come from the grassroots. They rejected being seen as marginalized or as members of minorities or as victims. They wanted to access the American dream individually through their own agency. These are people who were oftentimes who were aware that they were discriminated against, and yet they believed that they could improve their lot in life individually. The idea that you act through the collective is imposed by ideologues and activists who have this idea of changing America in mind. The other one is this idea of demography, that a changing demography after the Hart-Celler Act, the new immigration law in 1965, necessitated this division of the country into groups. That is not the case. America's demography has been changing since the 1600s, actually. The arrival of Germans, and then Scots-Irish, and then in the 1850s of Scandinavians and New Germans. And then you have Ellis Island, a profusion of groups from Armenia and Syria and Sicily and Eastern Europe and Hungary. So America's demography has always been changing. There was nothing about this new wave, which is just a continuation of the American story, that necessitated breaking the country into categories and minorities.